the greatest saxophone players who ever lived was named Charlie Parker. Since he began playing and recording and performing, jazz musicians have been studying his solos to try to figure out his genius and understand his style and what made his playing so amazing. I wanted to talk to you today about this new book and app that have just been released. It's a really cool book. It's called Pathways to Parker. I have it right here in the book form. And there's also a free app that you can download. So what this book does is it takes the recorded solos of Charlie Parker and it breaks them down into individual one-measure statements and then organizes them by the chord type. Let me start by just opening to a random page in the book and you'll see what's going on here. So I opened up to page 138 and right here we see the chord symbol G. That means G, major chord. Every little one-measure phrase is a different example of something that Charlie Parker played while a G chord symbol was happening, or a G chord was happening in the music. One cool way to apply this is to sort of try to construct your own solo based on ideas from this book. So we're going to apply this today to a song called Summertime. So this is the chord progression of Summertime. What we're going to do now is create a solo based on these chords using phrases from the Pathways to Parker book. The first chord we need is B minor 7, but you can just use B minor, that's fine. Here we go, here's our B minor phrases. So I'm going to play through some of these. Here's the first one. That's kind of cool. So I think I'm actually going to start here with number 3, this one right here. So let's start by writing down that first phrase. Okay, so there's phrase 1. Ba, 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 da, dum. So we have 3 bars of B minor. I need 2 more phrases. I'm going to pick something that kind of connects well to this phrase because this phrase ends on an E. I'm going to pick phrase number 7. Cool. You know what might be cool is to do this lick number 14 because it kind of echoes the rhythm of the first lick we used. So now we're in measure 4 and we don't need a B minor phrase, we need a B7 phrase, or in this case it's B7 flat 9, but pretty much a plain B7 would work too. So now, you know what, let's look at the app. We want to look for B7. Here's B7. Now we need something that's going to connect to the A that we just ended our last phrase on. Yeah, let's use this one, number 56. Starts on a B, sounds kind of cool. Now we have our first 4 measures of our solo created. Let's play through the first 4 measures. Sounds pretty cool. The next chord in our song is an E minor 7. Check it out right here, 2 bars of E minor 7. So let's go to our app and look at the E minor or E minor 7 options. Here we go, scrolling down, E minor. Ooh, look at this number 27. It starts on a B, which is close to the A we just ended on. Very cool. Cool, that sounds great. And we have one more measure of E minor. So let's take a look. E minor, 28, starts on E. I like that. So we have our 2 measures of E minor. What we need next is a C sharp minor 7 flat 5. That looks complicated, right? If we look at the table of contents in the book, alphabetical order, we can go to the C sharps and we have C sharp minor, which is close to what we need. But here we have C sharp with this circle and the slash through it. That's called half diminished, and it's the same thing as C sharp minor 7 flat 5. Those 2 chords really go together to bring us back to B minor. It's okay if we use a phrase that is marked as C sharp minor 7 flat 5, F sharp 7. I think this one right here is going to work great. And then in our F sharp 7 measure, we're going to put the very next one. Okay, it's going to sound great. Oh, this is sounding pretty good. We have to do 3 more bars of B minor. Okay, 3 bars of B minor. Let's check out the app. We ended on an E, so maybe it would be really cool if we started a B minor phrase that kind of connects well to this E, maybe a D or an F sharp. Oh, how about this one, 35? Yeah, that's going to be our first one. And we have 2 more measures of B minor. I'm gonna leave that as a G natural for now. G natural or G sharp are both acceptable on B minor. Another measure of B minor, maybe starting on an F sharp because we were just on a G. Yeah. We've got 3 measures of B minor, and in this measure, we got to do an E minor A7, which is going to take us to the D major. That's a 2, 5, 1 to the D major. Here's a classic Charlie Parker phrase, which you heard him play a lot, number 11. That's going to be great. So we finished this last 4-bar phrase with this G, B flat, A, G, and that is just calling out to go to an F sharp in the next measure because it's going to resolve to our D major scale. So we need to find a D major pattern that starts on an F sharp, a lower F sharp. Here we go. Let's take a look. Scrolling through. Oh, simple. Number 51. We're almost completed our solo. We have to do a C sharp minor 7 flat 5, F sharp minor 7 phrase in 1 bar, which is going to bring us to B minor. This is a cool one. You might recognize this little phrase from the Charlie Parker tune called Confirmation. So that is pretty cool. That works over C sharp minor 7 flat 5, F sharp 7. 2 measures left in our solo. We have to do a B minor 7 phrase. Yeah, let's put that in. Final measure, we need an F sharp 7 flat 9. Like I said before, a lot of times in jazz improv, you can kind of interchange the C sharp minor 7 flat 5 and the F sharp 7. They both are chords that are going to lead you to the minor target, which is B minor. So let's find something that connects nicely to this F sharp that we just ended our previous phrase with. And I'm looking down here at phrase 3. I think this is going to work well. Let's put that in. I'm just going to make one change to this last phrase. I'm going to turn this F sharp into an F natural, and I'm going to put an F sharp on the downbeat of the next measure. So I just added that F sharp, or that F natural in there to make a nice little chromatic to the downbeat on the F sharp. So I think, all in all, we have a pretty cool solo here. What I'm going to do now to finish out our little tutorial here is I'm going to play the full solo with our backing track. So let's give it a try. Now this method of practicing jazz is really useful. It helps you build up your vocabulary. We're taking bits and pieces of professional jazz solos and sort of plugging them in to chord progressions and creating this sort of paint by numbers jazz solo. As you get better and better at jazz improv, we eventually learn to move beyond just sort of copying other jazz musicians, and we start to make little changes and make these phrases into our own language and our own interpretation, and you start to become your own individual style of player. So I definitely recommend you check out this book, Pathways to Parker by Dr. Rowlyk, a good friend of mine, and also the app that goes with it, Pathways to Parker. You can download it at the App Store. Thanks for watching, everybody. Now go practice.